Joshua Bishop, the real meaning of family. The real meaning of family, Joshua Bishop.
Family. Two parents, usually a man and a woman, living together with children. This was the top-rated definition of what a family is on Google Chrome. Why do we have such a narrow definition of what a family is? To me, family are the people in your life who show up in moments of crisis. For me, it was a mentor who helped me through one of the hardest transitions in my life. It was a best friend who picked up the phone when I was desperate to talk to someone. And it was two parents who helped me through the most traumatic event of my life. I'm going to tell you about my family and try and convince you that family is something earned by the people who show up in moments of crisis. When I was 12 years old, I knew I was gay. Andrew Garfield and Chris Hemsworth told me everything I needed to know. But I had no friends who were gay. I had no family members who were gay. There was no gay-straight alliance at my school. I had no role models on TV. I didn't even know you could be gay. So I went through high school and college with this terrible pain, this terrible loneliness, because I thought I was the only person suffering like this. And I became really desperate for someone, anyone, who would understand me. Quite by chance, when I was 18, I was talking to this woman, Diane, in her 60s. We were just having coffee. And she was talking about her husband and her son and her son's husband. And I said to her, "What do you mean your son has a husband?" And she said, yeah, Chris, he's lovely, such a welcome part of our family. I said, "I want a husband." And she said, "That's great, it's wonderful. If you wanted a wife, that would be great. If you wanted a husband, that's great." And I said, I've never talked about this with anyone before. And we talked for the whole evening. And she said, "Why don't we meet in a month and we'll talk some more? I think this is something that you need to talk about." We met once a month for 4 years. I talked to her about my self-acceptance, my coming out to my family, my coming out to friends, my advocacy, my boyfriends. She loved and she cared. And isn't that what family does? Now, fast forward a few years in my life. Life's going well. I'm out and proud, I finished uni. I'm with my dad, and we get a call from the hospital. My mum has collapsed. I love my mum a lot. They did heart tests, they did brain tests, and she was showing early signs of multiple sclerosis. I'm a psych student. I know what that means. Tremors, difficulty walking, comorbid with anxiety and depression, loss of cognitive function over a long and slow process. And all of that hit me at once. The realization that my mum was not going to be around forever and that she might suffer. I was feeling all these emotions. I didn't know who to turn to, who to talk to. I couldn't talk to Mum, she was coping. Dad was coping. So I called someone I knew would pick up the phone, my best friend Milan. I said to him, "Buddy, I've really got to talk to you right now. I'm not in a good way." He said, "Drive on over and let's have a chat." So I drove to his house. He got in the car with me. And for the next 2 hours, he just listened. He listened to me talk about how fearful I was for my mum's future, how angry I was that she got this diagnosis, how powerless I felt to do anything about it. He sat and he listened and was really genuinely present. He was there because he cared. He showed up in my moment of crisis. Isn't that what family is all about? Now I'm going to take you back in time to when I was 10 years old. I used to play on the trampoline all the time. Lots of kids do. And I would do flips. This one flip I went into, I just didn't get the right rotation. I knew I was going to land a little short, so I tried to overcompensate. I landed on my neck, and the vertebra, they slid. There was a God Almighty crack and a pain I have never felt, the pain of 1,000 bee stings in the middle of my neck. I screamed in agony. I ran inside. My parents knew something was wrong. They rushed me to Canberra Hospital. Canberra Hospital rushed me up here to Sydney, to Westmead Children's Hospital. I was sandbagged in a bed for a week, unable to move. And the surgeon, he sat down my parents. He said, Josh has got 1 millimeter separating his vertebra from taking his spinal cord. And if that happens, there is nothing I can do. I don't know if he's going to survive the operation. I'm even less certain he'll ever walk again. Imagine how my parents must have felt. Their 10-year-old son fighting for his life. Do you know what my parents did? They sat by my bedside every day before the operation. They waited the 8 grueling hours I was on the operating table. They were there every single day as I recovered. They gave me a normal Christmas 2 days later. They did all my PT, my physical therapy. They cleaned me because I was in a full body brace for a year. So, I propose to you, family are the people that show up. And it could be a mentor. It could be a best friend. But here's the real meaning of family. Family, a group of people, often related by blood, but not always, who genuinely love, trust, and care about one another, not to be mistaken with blood relatives who hate each other. Real family is a bond that cannot be broken by any means. Toastmaster.